Take me back to the beginning, before the Paralympics,
Yes.
before all the world competitions you've completed. What did life look like for you growing up? And how did swimming first become part of your story?
So life definitely was not like it was when I was on TV and the bright lights of the Paralympic world. So I was born with a disability called arthrogryposis multiplex congenita. So in short, it's a very easy way to learn the alphabet as a child. But basically, I was born with very stiff joints in my knees and my ankles and my hips on both sides. So as a result, trouble building the muscles in order to do a lot of daily activities. So I used crutches to get around. I also balanced using a wheelchair. When I was born, it was a surprise for my mum and dad. They didn't know that I had a disability. So the first 2 years of life was very in and out of hospital and lots of, I think I had 13 or 14 different operations in the first 2 years of life. My siblings are triplets, so they were 4.5 when I was born. So my parents already had their hands extremely full. And then I came along and was essentially high needs child in terms of my physical being. However, it was the biggest blessing because my parents didn't have time to fuss and mollycoddle, wrap me up in cotton wool. They did the best job that they possibly could do, sharing love amongst 4 children. They didn't treat me differently. So for me, it really created a sense of resilience very early on because I wanted to be like my brothers and sister. I knew that I was different, but I didn't want that to be a reason to live differently. So started hydrotherapy for my legs when I was about 5 years old. So hydrotherapy is essentially like physiotherapy. So moving your joints and moving my body in all different directions that I was limited to doing on land because essentially in the water I could go forwards, backwards, somersault, backflips, every movement that I wanted to do that I couldn't do on land, I could do in the water. So the doctors and the physios thought, well, that's the best way for me with stiff joints. The best thing that you can do is be in water to essentially not loosen them, but give them the freedom to move because on land I don't have the luxury of moving. Whilst hydrotherapy was for therapeutic reasons, I realised that I was very competitive because when we had a swimming pool at home, I used to have my triplets siblings one at a time get in and do my therapy with me and help me out, and I always wanted to have it was lovely.
That's what siblings are for.
Yeah, and it was great to give them a sense of responsibility as well. So they might not agree, but I think Mum and Dad did a great job, as I said. Immediately in the water, I felt this sense of freedom, and I thought I can actually do things in the water that my siblings can do. And I can do and challenge them and be who I want to be in the water. So hydrotherapy was a real catalyst for me to find that space where I felt equal. And then as a result, it brought out this competitive edge, and then that took me on to doing swimming laps up and down the pool and chase inevitable black line that just never goes away.
That sounds really, really interesting and good on your parents, that's for sure.
They, honestly, my parents deserve so many medals for what they did because I'm not a mum of a human child, but I have a fur baby Tommy and I would do anything to give him the best quality of life and not see him in pain, but my parents had to live with the pain that I was in post-surgery and chose the option that was to not wrap me in cotton wool and give me a platform to be just like everyone else and make my home life just as normal.
Was it always your dream to win gold at Paralympics, to achieve something like that? And if so, or if not, what was your inspiration to go for and apply for these games and represent Australia?
Yeah, great question. So I was always very athletic with the ability that I did have. I always wanted to prove myself, as I mentioned before. I wouldn't say that I wanted to be a gold medalist. I did want to be a Paralympian. So the catalyst for me was really a memory that I'll never forget. I was undergoing probably my largest surgery of my childhood when I was in year 3 at school. And I was recovering post-surgery at Princess Margaret Hospital. And it was on at the same time Atlanta Paralympic Games in 1996. And I remember laying in the bed watching Priya Cooper, a lady from Western Australia, so born and raised in Perth, and has cerebral palsy. So whilst we have different disabilities, I saw a lot of similarities, and seeing someone like her on television for me was just amazing, because watching TV, you didn't see disability, you just saw perfection. So watching the Atlanta Games, I thought I could be like that. Seeing someone that looked like me and feel like I could be that person, it was a really big dream. But funnily enough, I wanted to be a wheelchair basketballer, which is pretty funny because I'm terrible. But when I was growing up, wheelchair sport was like the glory sport. And all the popular kids played wheelchair basketball, and swimming was a bit isolating and a bit not that cool. So I wanted to be a wheelchair basketballer. However, I didn't have the talent to make it. I don't know why I didn't just choose swimming, because I was very good at it. From a very young age, I was pretty talented due to my upper body strength. So, and then I was successful in making my first team to the 2004 Paralympics in Athens. So I was little 15-year-old then, and I didn't go wanting to win gold. I thought if I won a medal, that would be really cool, because I was still in year 11 at school, and I thought, what a great thing to bring back and show my schoolmates. And when I was there, I didn't have the best competition, but that's okay. You don't always have to have the best race. But I saw friends and teammates win gold, and I was like, I want to be like them. So I went from seeing Priya Cooper on TV, going, I want to be on TV like Priya, to I want to be on the dais like my friends. I basically came back after the Paralympics and was like, right, that's what I'm going to do the next time. I'm going to do whatever I can to be on the top, or give myself the best chance to be on the top of the dais. Whether or not I was successful, it was whether or not I gave myself the best opportunity to get there.
Well done. So you actually made it then to the Paralympics in Beijing.
Yes, I
did. In 2008.
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank
already.
you.
So you are there. The final, you're standing behind the blocks.
Yes.
The crowd is roaring last seconds before your race starts. What was running through your mind?
It was really interesting, because I had this moment where between the heats and the finals, so you do the heat in the morning to qualify for the final in the evening, and I remember relaxing in my room between heats and finals thinking, I should be terrified and nervous. I was ranked number 1 going into the finals, so I had the pressure. I'd broken the world record in the morning, so all eyes were on me. But I had this realization that there was nothing I could have done extra that I didn't do, whatever the result was. So I actually wrote on my hand with a black marker pen that exact, there is nothing more you could have done. So not that I didn't believe in myself, but I thought to myself, I know I put everything into this result, out of the outcome. And if it goes my way, then it was all worth it. But if it didn't go my way, because I knew that it was going to be really close, if it didn't go my way, then I couldn't change anything. I don't regret anything. So I wasn't behind the block. I was most nervous when I saw my parents. I knew what it meant for them when they saw me as a baby, and the therapy, and for them to then see me behind lane 4. Like, I get goosebumps. I was most nervous for them because and my auntie and uncles, one set from Australia and another set from Wales were there, and my sister. I was only 19, and I just remember thinking, I've done everything in my power to be here, and whatever happens, happens. So
Absolutely, and you were probably already proud of yourself. How far you've
100%.
come already. Doesn't matter the outcome.
100%.
During the swim, what was your thoughts there? Was it complete focus? Did you think anything, or have you had any mantras or presence practices which help you anchor you?
So within the race itself, so I was, as I mentioned, in lane 4, and there was a Dutch girl on one side and a German girl on the other. And we all raced very differently. Whilst we all did the same distance, we all had very different tactics as to how we were going to get there. For me, I'd done so much work on making sure I didn't get caught up in what they were doing, and that if I stuck to my race plan and did what I knew that I had practiced and was going to be the most successful. It was quite a wild race. I'm really glad I didn't watch it and I'm in it, because I probably would have had a heart attack, because with backstroke you start in the water.
Okay.
But because I don't have the range of movement in my legs or the muscles, I wasn't able to get into the tight position to do a proper push-off, like a proper launch.
Yes. Yeah.
The other girls that I'm racing, we're all very similar in terms of ability levels. So they had spina bifida or cerebral palsy, and we were all leg affected.
Yeah.
But the other girls on either side had much better starts than I did. And I knew this. So for the first 25 metres of the 100, which is a quarter of the race, I was coming dead last.
Okay.
And I knew it, because with backstroke, you can see where you are based upon the splashes around you.
True.
And I had no splashes around me.
Oh.
So for me, I knew that I was not winning, because if I was winning, then everything else had gone wrong for everyone else. But I knew that that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew that my biggest weakness was my start. My biggest strength was the second 50. I knew that I had the endurance background to bring me home.
Yeah.
So I remember turning at the 50 metre mark and thinking, okay, I'm starting to see some splashes, which means that I'm coming back.
Yes.
And then I tumble turned. I can't push off the wall very well, so I fell to 7th place. It was, I'm not joking, it was a line across the pool. We were all dead even. And then we got to the 75 metre mark, and I knew that I was next to the German girl. And the German girl, her name is Kristen Brunn, she had won the Athens Paralympics, the prior cycle, and the Sydney Games. So I knew if I was near her, then I was in with a good shot. It was quite dramatic, and you couldn't see this from above. We actually clashed hands under the water. So I'm known not for swimming in a straight line.
Yeah.
So with backstroke, I'm trying to stay straight, but I veered over to the lane rope.
Yeah.
Just to get that guidance.
Yeah.
And she came over similarly to the, and I remember putting my arm underwater, and I felt her. And I went, oh my God, she's right there. This is my strength. This is where the best part of my race comes to life. When you say mantra, I certainly did. My mantra, not just on the day, but my mantra through the whole training cycle was, the pain won't last forever, but the memories will. Because the pain of the race was excruciating, from the lactic acid, the fatigue, the burning arms. And I remember thinking, I am in excruciating pain, but the pain's going to end very shortly when I touch the wall. Memory is what's going to carry on. At about 5 metres to go, I knew that I was in front. I didn't know about any other lanes, but I thought if I'm in front of lane 5, which was the German, Kristen, then I'm in with a good shot. So I still stayed 100% focused, because every metre is a chance to win or lose. My coach was just incredible at instilling in me that my race was what was going to win. If I tried to race their race, I was going to fall apart. I think back to my 19-year-old self, like, I'm so proud of the maturity that I had to stay in the moment and trust my coach, and also not panic. That was the one thing. I could have panicked, and in swimming, upping your stroke rate is where you just do windmill arms and you don't get a good feel.
Yeah.
That's what I did in the past when I got stressed. But my coach worked with me to really instill that was what I needed to stay strong and focused on me and stay in my lane, and not go, oh, but what's she doing, or what's over there?
Think of the others.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
My parents may disagree. But as a child, I was always quite a chatterbox, but I was very reflective at the same time. I used to sit and think and just watch. And a lot of the time, my siblings would be playing outside, doing an activity that perhaps I wasn't able to do.
Yes.
And rather than taking myself away and hiding because I didn't want to see that, I used to just sit and watch. And I might not be watching them, but I used to just sit and watch and be with my thoughts. As a baby and a young girl, not that I can remember, but I know my parents have told me, when I used to be in hospital post-operations or there for certain appointments, I always had a very calm demeanour and was very present and just enjoyed the stillness. Even though I could be a cyclone at home with my siblings, and I always had this kind of centering myself. As I progressed through swimming, I probably wouldn't say that I had the mindfulness to help me when I was 15, say at the Athens Games. I know that I let the energy get the better of me because it was my largest competition, and the nerves, and I wasn't able to bring myself back. So that was probably the key. While swimming was very important, the key for me in those 4 years between Athens and Beijing was mindfulness, and was like bringing myself back to the why, and irrespective of the result my race was on the 10th of September 2008, irrespective of the result, it was the why. And that's where my mindfulness practice would come in and go back to the child that started swimming and the why I started and the feeling that I had. So really making it meditative rather than, I was in a very high performance environment. Yeah, but totally. If you get absorbed by that, it's exhausting. So for me, that was my biggest hack, was bringing myself back to the center. And swimming is a lucky sport in that way because you can shut out the world when you put your cap and goggles on and dive in. You can't hear anyone, you can't talk to anyone. It's just you and your thoughts.
Did you have any coach helping you?
My swimming coach, Mel Tantrum, and Grant Stolwinder were incredible. Mel believed in me as an athlete, but she also took the time to get to know me as a person. She learnt to know me and that I needed that stillness. In the first few months and years of training with Mel, I was in a really large squad, and whilst it was really fun and incredibly social, it wasn't helping my performances at that time. And I think she could see early on that I needed that time and space to sit by myself, do what I needed to do. And at that age I didn't recognise it because I wanted to be with my friends and I wanted to have a laugh. But she was amazing at seeing what I needed for me before I even realised that I needed it. We did have the support of the WA Institute of Sport, the psychology team there, which was amazing. However, I think it was Mel that was the catalyst because she would see me every single day. The psychs I would see on occasion when I needed them, but Mel would see me when I was high and happy and everything was amazing, and she would see me equally when life wasn't so great and figure out the key to unlock how I worked. Having her before the games, at the staging camp, at the games, and just, I remember the heat swim, I broke the world record. And she was the one that was like, don't get excited, it's not the final. Like, it is exciting, breaking a world record is amazing.
Totally.
But she was the one that was like, remember, medalist tonight. Refocus, recenter. Don't go down the path of, oh my gosh, look what I did. Focus on every step of the process.
So she was actually your swimming coach and mental coach.
Yeah, I don't think she realised that she was my mental coach, but in hindsight, I look back and I'm like, she spent an extraordinary amount of time, not only on pool deck, but getting to know me as a person over coffee. She was with me along the journey of my boyfriends and if I had a breakup, and she was there for so much of that time in my life.
Are you still in contact with her?
Yeah. So she's now over in the Sunshine Coast or Brisbane. But she's actually the head coach of the Australian Paralympic swimming team. So she took up a role over there about 12 months ago, and I remember when I found out, it was actually, I'd seen it in the news and I just screamed. I was so excited because Mel, when I finished swimming, Mel sort of was continuing to coach, and I went off and did my life and went to uni and got a job and did all the other things. And then to think Mel's still living that, and she's there for the athletes that are me, but now a lot younger. So the fact that she's head coach is just the most exciting thing.
Yeah, that's really beautiful for her as well.
100%.
To continue that. And apparently she does a very good job.
She does. She's so passionate about it, which is what you need.
Yeah, totally. Okay. While you were doing the whole Paralympics games, the whole weeks were you there, were there any moments of doubt or fear? And how did you presence practices or your mindset tools help you shift those thoughts and then perform at your highest?
So Athens, I did not perform at my highest in any way, shape or form. As I mentioned, the nerves got the better of me and I was well off my best, but I was able to, not immediately, but remind myself, I'm 15, I'm competing for my country, I've never competed at this level in front of so many people. So whilst I didn't get the results that I wanted, I was able to kind of go, it's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. There will be another chance.
Great.
So that really helped me kind of understand the performance and that I needed to work on that mindset, because that's what my downfall was at that point in time. And then in Beijing, funnily enough, I just remembered my 100-meter backstroke was on day 4 of the competition. I competed in the 200 meters medley on day 1, so the first day. And I went into the 200-meter medley ranked, I think, 3rd in the world. I did a fantastic personal best time, and I finished ranked 2nd. So I was going into the final ranked 2nd. So whilst it wasn't my main event, I thought, oh my God, I might get a bonus medal in a race that's not really my main event. And then about 10 seconds later, I got out of the pool and I was informed that I was disqualified for an illegal touch. With swimming, you've got to do the touches between the strokes in a very specific and technical way. And I just missed, and these are the things that you practice time and time and time and time again in training. But I just didn't do the right thing. So I was devastated, because I thought, I've let everyone down. I've let myself down. Mentally prepared for so many outcomes, but I didn't prepare for a disqualification. So that threw me. I remember just thinking, I was scared to see my coach, who, Mel, was one of my best friends. I remember being terrified to see her, because I'm like, we didn't plan for that. I remember being in floods of tears, which is not ideal on the first day of the competition, to be down in the dumps. She, again, was just amazing at reminding me there's other races. There are other things that I've got to focus on. And it was about shifting my mindset from that didn't go to plan. It wasn't a failure though, because I've got other races to go. I've got other ways to channel my energy. Whilst that wasn't ideal, and I wish I could undo the mistake that I made, that's life. We're humans. We make mistakes. So definitely I did doubt myself, but I think if I had been in my own head too much, I probably would have spiraled and gone down the, how are you going to get back to day 4, getting yourself together? But Mel spent time with me and was like, right, you know what you've got to do. Day 1 is done. Close that chapter. We're moving on. Day 2, we're going to do this. And everything was really structured, which I needed, but also with kind of making sure I was having that time to reflect and to not just ignore what had happened, but to process it. Okay, that happened, move on, refocus. I also went to the London Paralympics. When you win gold medals, and it's amazing, but it doubles the pressure, triples the pressure to do it again, because everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're going to do it again. About 11 months before the games, I was over at a training camp in Canberra at the Australian Institute of Sport. I slipped over crossing the road and I broke my hip. That led to 5 weeks in hospital I have a huge plate down my leg. I had surgery, and I've now got a big plate down my leg. And that was recovery time. I had to have that in Canberra, so I couldn't fly until I was able to sit up and fly home. I then got a blood clot in one of my lungs, so that set me back. So all up, I think I had 3 months out of the water, which only gave me 4 months to trials, and then 3 months until the games. There was a lot of doubt in my mind, because I thought, how embarrassing. I'm not going to be able to defend my title. And it wasn't me being negative, but I knew time was not on my side, and the injury that I had and did was pretty significant and traumatic. So to make the games, I had to totally reshift my priorities and my goal. And to me, it wasn't about defending, it was about making the team. Try and contribute to a medal, but there was a lot of doubt in my head about whether I was going to make the team. Thankfully, I made the team. I was one of the last to qualify, which was humbling to say the least. And then the games themselves, I wasn't at my best, but refocused my mind to go, I've won that gold medal. I didn't set out to win 10. I set out to win 1. Any other race I do is a bonus. Getting to win a gold medal, I never aspired to win 10. So even though it was disappointing to not be at my best, it was a lot about centering the why. The why was I wanting to do it? Why did I want to go to London? Why did I want to push myself in an uphill battle to get fit, to make the team, to give my best result in London? That was a really humbling and a lot of self-reflection as to why was I doing that sport to begin with, if I was going to have to fight so much to get back.
Not only Paralympics, but you also completed the Rottnest Channel Swim, which is one of the biggest open water swims in the world. It's a almost 20k swim from beach
Yes.
to the island, and you completed it in under 6 hours, which is mind-blowing. Well done.
Thank you.
So you actually went from the perfectly measured lanes of a pool to the open water, which is unpredictable,
Yes.
very vast. Did you have to change any presence practices when you are in the open water compared to the pool?
One of the reasons why I loved and I guess took up open water swimming to begin with was the lack of control that you have. So think about swimming and Paralympic swimming in a 50-metre pool.
Yeah.
Every single little bit of that is measurable. The stroke count, the pace, the distance. And whilst it was fantastic for that time in my life, the results that I got from it,
Yeah.
I needed to learn to live in an environment where it wasn't always going to be controllable. And because I'd grown up in a very high performance world from a young age, I needed to do that pretty swiftly. I'm a Perth girl, born and bred, loved the beach from the very beginning. So I actually joined Northcote Surf Lifesaving Club very soon after I retired from swimming. I only knew one person who was my lecturer, Ray Boffey, at university. And I joined because I wanted to find a community of like-minded people
Yeah.
that were fit and healthy and interested, but also would be there to work with me through the transition. Through that is where I met people that were like, what about the Rottnest Channel Swim? And like you said, it's a long way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an immediate, oh yes, definitely. It was that sounds interesting, but there is a lot of unpredictableness that comes with an event on one day. I did have to change a lot in my mindset, and I think probably one of the biggest things was learning to relax with the unknown. There was a lot that I had to shift and change, but
Yeah.
in the same vein, I was really excited for that chapter to be in an environment that I couldn't be measured, I couldn't be monitored. It was just the ocean. It's different every single day.
When you were in the water for the Rottnest Island swim, were you scared of the depth of, again, the unpredictable open water, and also, of course, scared of the sharks?
Yes and no. I was really lucky with the day I did my first solo crossing in 2018. I had done
Yeah.
a number of duos and teams prior, so I knew what the event was, and I'd mentally prepared for the number of boats
Yeah.
and helicopters and drones, and I certainly knew what was out there. I was really lucky the day that I did my solo because the water clarity was sensational. You could see the bottom the entire way. I am just one person on this planet doing something extraordinary. And if I got there, amazing. If I didn't, well, I'll try again next year.
Yes.
And I got there, as you said, in an absolutely mind-blowing time for me. Getting there under 6 hours was just not something I envisaged, but I did. In terms of the big sharks, I don't know if it's because I've grown up here. They're not something I'm afraid of. I'm sure if I came face to face with one, I would be. But I think it is such a privilege to swim in the ocean, and we are so lucky to have the access that we do. And it's a choice that I make to go into their territory. And I understand the risks that come with it. And during the swim itself, I feel like it's the safest day on the water because there are so many other people.
So much
There are
happening.
so many boats. I think if I was a shark, I would go as far away as possible.
How did the presence practices help you perform at your highest level, not only in sport, but in your life?
I think the biggest gift that mindfulness and presence practice has given me is grounding me. I've been fortunate to be so successful and surrounded by people to help me get to that level. And I think
Yeah.
I could have taken my head to another space and thought maybe I didn't need to invest in learning who I was as a person because I have these accolades that speak for me. Through mindfulness and just being present, it's given me the time and the space and the gratitude to learn who am I as a person. For such a long time, I was just in everyone else's world. I was just Katrina the swimmer. And that was really hard at first because I was like, oh my gosh, is that all I am? Is that all I am to people around me, and that's all they think I have to offer or to talk to them
Yeah.
about, or all I do? And for a while it was. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to branch out.
Yeah.
And I think by having that presence to stop and think in that moment, okay, who else do I want to be? What else
Yeah.
do I want to do? Has really enabled me to create different pathways, not only through careers and sporting life, but through where I am today, in this present moment, sitting on the beach with you, having this chat. Who I was and who I've become has been through a lot of mindfulness and being present in the moment.
And would you say without those presence practices, you could have achieved the same, what you achieved in your life so far?
It's a really good question. I think it's a real, could I have achieved the heights that I have? I think I could have, but would I have the same sense of satisfaction and gratitude and appreciation? Probably not. I think taking the time to step back and think about what I put in to get to the results is one thing, and I think we can get so caught up with this rat race that is life and not stop and think about, wow, what did I achieve? But also not what did I achieve? What did I do to get there?
Yeah.
And I think I was always driven and motivated and wanted to be a successful and high achieving person, which is great, but without taking the time to step back and think, which is what I feel I've always done, has really helped me to shape who else do I want to be? Who does the not successful Kat want to be? The grounded, the spiritual, the chatty, the hopefully fun, but the also really still person that I need to be myself.
Yeah.
That's a real, I have to come back to me to be that self.
So would you say that you see presence practices and being present in general as a non-negotiable and also like an advantage in life?
100%. It is like getting out of bed and having a coffee is pretty much a non-negotiable for me in the morning, which maybe is good or bad. Presence practice and mindfulness is absolutely pivotal. I know that I suffer from anxiety, and the biggest cure to helping with that anxiety is presence and actually coming back to the here and the now. And I know we can all be guilty of going down rabbit holes and getting caught up in the dramas of everyday life, but having it as a non-negotiable, whether I'm having an anxious day or if I'm just having a normal day, it's a non-negotiable. And since having Tommy, that's just been the biggest blessing to me, because he needs to be walked every day. So that's my non-negotiable mindfulness time. That's my practice. I might do additional when I go home and do my journaling or gratitude. But when I'm with Tommy, one of the greatest things about being on crutches that I think in this modern day, my hands are too busy to carry a phone or to be on the phone or to do anything but walk and just be. And you see so many people these days that distract themselves from what's around them by going on their phone because they've got to reply to an email. But for me, it's the ultimate time is to practice when I'm with Tommy and I'm 100% present. And that's for me such a big gift. And one of the things that I do, I walk with Tommy at Tommy's pace, and I stop when he sniffs something and I go, what is it he's sniffing? I wonder what he's discovering about the world. And then my mind goes down this mindfulness path of like, I take myself on these journeys with Tommy.
If you don't swim, what else do you have as presence practices in your everyday life?
I think I jumped to the answer a bit soon, but walking my dog is my, swimming is an absolute meditative, physical endorphin rush that I can get for myself. But being with Tommy is just the ultimate. He's just my little shadow. He's got such a calming nature that really brings me back to grounding myself. I do some meditation most days, if not every day. I try. I'm not perfect. I try most days, and just do a 10-minute practice before going to work in the morning, whether or not I'm working from home or in the office. I think in the world that we live, we're so lucky to have a coffee shop nearby and our friends and socializing, and then we get to the office and it's go, go, go. I need that kind of middle ground where I see my friends and have that lovely social connection, but I bring myself back to how am I feeling today, where's my mindset at, reset, go again. When I was traveling with girlfriends in Europe, one of the biggest non-negotiables I said to them every day is, I need 20 minutes on my own. And I didn't want them to take that personally, but I needed that time just to bring myself back to me And whilst there was so much to do and explore and see, you're in a new country and a new culture. If I didn't do that for me, I couldn't be present in the moment.
Yeah, you need to fill your own cup,
Yeah.
so then you can give the energy to everyone else.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who.
100%.
Yeah. If a young athlete who is struggling with pressure or fear sat across of you today, what would you tell him about the power of presence and how important it is?
I think it is everything. They often say in sport that 90% of the performance is up here. 10%, of course, you need to be physically training and doing the work in whatever sport or in whatever endeavour you are aiming to succeed. Think back to the why. Why are they doing it, and is it what they want to do? And they might not know that. They might not have that insight to know at that point in time, but question themselves in the why did they start what they're doing, and what is it that they want to get in the end result. I used to keep a logbook when I was training, and I would write my session down of what I did, but I would also have a box and write how was I feeling. And I wouldn't write it, oh, I was feeling so strong. It was, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling pleased, I'm feeling angry. That would help me to bring it to the, well, if I felt this way, if I didn't enjoy that, why? And what can I do to change? But one thing that I really am proud of myself and really thrive on is that my career is so different to chasing the black line. So I work in resource management for a really large company, working with people from all different countries, all different walks of life. And I love that is so different from who I was as an athlete. And I'm so proud of that person who has created this other life. And still bring in a lot of the skills that I gained as an athlete. I think they are the most transferable skills you can possibly have being an athlete into the professional life. But stillness remains and presence remains in every facet.
You can answer the 5 questions with a word or a sentence, however you like it.
I am chatty, so probably a sentence.
Up to you, whatever comes to your mind. So it's kind of like a this or that question.
I love these.
All right. Pool or ocean swim?
Ocean swim, absolutely.
Yes. Solo swim or team relay?
That is very hard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Team, but solo, both.
If you would do the Rottnest Island swim next year again, would you go for a solo swim or a team relay?
Solo, because the training is as a team. You need the team to get there, but the solo is something that I just love to do for that sense of achievement and thrill.
Music before a race or silence?
Music, absolutely.
Which song?
The song I Believe from the movie Honey. That was blasting in my headphones, reminding myself I believe I can do this. Blasting in my headphones before my Beijing race. And whenever I hear it now, I cry because I think of that moment.
I need to listen to that
You
later.
need to, yeah.
Sleep in or early riser?
Early riser, 100%. Whilst sometimes you just want to snooze the alarm, the best time of day is the morning.
Absolutely,
it's just,
especially here.
Yeah, 100%.
Last question, morning or evening routine?
Morning routine, definitely morning routine. The early riser, doing my endorphin rush, whether that be something physical and whatever, or just taking Tommy for a walk and seeing friends. Absolutely. Evening for me is about recharging my batteries. I have a very strict social policy in terms of the nights that I socialise and the nights I need to recharge. I cannot socialise every night to be my best self. I have to be my inner self. And be kind to my inner self.
Okay, that is it.
Oh my God, that was so
Thank you
good.
very much.